Good morning everyone, Oktabyte here, and welcome back to Let's Play Factorio. Okay, last time we ran into some issues, basically some energy issues. So this time it's time to fix them. Did I place it on the wrong side? No, it's actually correct. I think I misplaced some later ones maybe. So last time we ran into energy issues and we noticed that the other energy production stuff isn't enough. Therefore we switched to, well, I decided to move them down. That's nice, I guess. And next we need to get a few more materials, and then the rest is easy. Getting the water up there is a bit harder. Okay, now we got water. And then I need to fill every single one of them with one piece of fuel so that they are running. Once again, I'm using not non-electric ones, simply because I enjoy it more that way. And it's more robust against issues where you run out of energy completely. If there's a complete stop in energy, I can place a bit of coal onto the conveyor belts and the system will start up again. On the other hand, if I used electric ones, that wouldn't be the case. I would have to, I don't know, maybe I would probably have to throw in coal manually into the steam engines and wait for them to power up again and stuff like that. And that's annoying. Therefore I use coal-based inserters. They use a bit of fuel, but in the end it doesn't matter that much for me. Actually, I don't even know how they compare in energy demand. They might use more, they might use less. I don't know. Actually, I think they might use more energy than the others, but it's not that big of an issue. By the way, there might be at some point oil boilers. That's something I read in one of the planned things for Factorio. But right now you can't boil oil directly. And well, I decided to place the next two systems right next to it. No, one system, yeah. I forgot to place the steam engines. I connected everything else, but I forgot that. Well, then I connected stuff up, and now the energy situation looks quite good again. Well, it looks okay, to be honest, since we're currently removing a forest and these robopods take insane amounts of energy. And autosave, yeah. At 3 times speed it's barely noticeable, but whatever. And now I set up a automated delivery system for these laser turrets so that the construction robots, in case one of the turrets gets destroyed, can rebuild them. Okay, now we are actually importing oil, but we're not producing enough stuff anymore. Well, barely. So, well, next up we check where does this thing meet in here. Well, it meets exactly where the one tank is, so I'd remove it. As I said, it has a lower priority. And then I go down, and this time it's a rail, and since I don't want to move rails, I move it up once. It's not that big of an issue, and then I notice, well, I tried to place some lights, and yeah. Now you can basically see some basic stuff, and I see some stuff here. And now the system unstucks again. It's usually a copper train that's running wrong, so I could probably take a look into fixing it from that side. But okay, let's see, steer. Once again some steer so I can get a few more robopods. And I'm starting to think, well, the energy is not quite enough, so I need to extend. And well, the easiest way to do that is to build more boilers and steam engines and stuff like that. Therefore, well, I grab some materials and we're getting attacked, and well, that was quite something, but whatever. We survived. We only lost, I think, a pipe or something. And I started to get a few more turrets along that side, and yeah, there you can see we actually lost one of those pipes. Not that big of a loss. And yeah, repairs have already been completed, if I can see that correctly. So, well, the bots are mainly transporting the wood. We are getting, I think, something like 10,000 wood from that operation. I think I might want to power my system with wood for a while. Not that it's very reliable, since you burn through that stuff within such a short amount of time. Then I queued up some destruction, and I didn't know how to undo that, so I just undid it manually. And since that's quite far away, I probably have to gun a lot of that stuff down myself. So, well, that's just what I did do after checking on the systems, if everything's still running smoothly. And something gets attacked. And then we connect everything up to power. And then we see, we place the next one. And then I think if I want to place it down there, but I don't want to because of the trails and all of those conveyor belts. And then the thing decides, oh, I'm out of power, so I won't show you where I'm going to be at. So I had to remove all of that stuff, get some additional stuff here, and we're really out of energy at the moment. It's slowly charging though, which is fine. It's a lot faster and they're 3 times sped up, but that's obvious. And let's see. Next robot part, now I can go downwards and connect them up. I released some of the robots I had, and then I built my first 2 logistics robots. And I still don't have any, haven't built any more. Because, well, it takes a while for them to get anything done. Even though I'm usually inside the coverage area, they're still so slow, and it will take a while until I'm actually able to research that stuff, especially since I'm still fixing stuff, making space for other stuff. Yeah, everything takes its time. So let's see, what's up next? Well, there's no plastic production. Why? Well, because something overflowed again. And I check a few things, if everything there's correct. Then I see, let's see, what's the issue? Actually, it's still some of the energy. So I start building all the energy-based stuff. And then I try not to die by getting overrun by trains at the last 2 or 3 engines that I need. And I noticed I need even more iron to get all the burner inserters. So, yeah. Good thing about burner inserters is they don't influence the energy grid at all. They influence it indirectly though, since they are basically my foundation of it. Once they run out, it's out, whatever. It's so nice that they fixed that. They actually load themselves with fuel if they are transporting fuel and out of it. And then I messed a few things up. Basically, you need to place one piece of track below every single of these other lines for it to run correctly. And yeah, you can see how long it takes for a single one of those to be crafted. Once again, it's pretty dark, I have to admit, but that's not something I can change at the moment. There's no energy yet. Later on there will be, since, well, we're currently crafting it. Those here and a few more, and I added a few more chests simply because I want to make sure that we don't run out of space for the wood. It's not that big of an issue. We still have tons of it at the end of the episode. Okay, let's see. I need to place some energy conduits. Well, energy conduit is a bit awkward word for that. Some energy thingies. Yeah. Even better, I guess. And then connect up the robot port and make some space around it. That should be fine. And then I noticed, well, I actually need to connect those things up to water. And I noticed that this wouldn't go quite well, so I played a little bit with the placement of that stuff. And I think something happened, which meant I had to go up. Oh yeah, I ran out of pipes and I didn't want to craft a billion of them in my inventory since it's slow to craft them, but the automated system has them always ready for me. At some point I will add them to my logistics system so that they can get delivered to me right away. So let's see here. Once again, more playing around with these pipes. First, this was the first attempt, but this looked awful, which meant, well, I decided to change it up a bit. to make it look a bit better. And then I connected these things up. And now we're just filling in the fuel again, which takes also a while. This is one of the most tedious things you have to do when building or extending your fuel system, refueling those things for the first time. And then, well, I checked the energy system and decided, well, I forgot the most important thing, lights. If I don't have any lights, you can't see anything. And therefore I added some more and went ahead and got rid of some trees. They actually absorb a bit of pollution, but it's really, really few. I think you need something like 18,000 of them to equal out a single mining drill. But even though you have tons of them. And we got attacked, so, well, I had to fix a few things. And I used the few laser turrets that got delivered to me via my logistics robots to get a little bit of defense up there. I checked that nothing's actually broken, and since there wasn't anything else broken, I decided to stay with it. I decided to leave it alone, because, well, the robots will fix them. I don't need to repair them. We're still needing 161 robots. Well, since we don't have that many yet, we need to wait that stuff out, and now we need to unstuck that system again. Once again, I need to think about a way to prevent them from running into that stuff, running into each other, but whatever. Let's see. Maybe if I would let these things overlap instead of placing them right next to each other, that could probably fix that issue. And I took a few of those thousands of electronic circuits. Nice to have them, though. At some point I will have to improve the loading and unloading of these things and automate that stuff. And since the issue was light oil, I removed 2 of these and wasted something like 6,000 liters of that light oil. Whatever. I don't have advanced oil processing yet, which I'm still having to research. I think at the end of the episode I start crafting the kits for that manually, because it's such an annoying task. And actually what's preventing my plastic from getting created is that these things are actually filling up the tanks, which I don't need them to. So I remove the connection to the tank, since if I need batteries, they will still be produced first. And then I just wait for the sulfur to build up. And once that's done, plastic will run again. At the moment I overrode it by taking some of the plastic from one of the chests into the other. I need to improve the loading and unloading of the plastic as well. And, well, now everything is running and we're still having enough oil. It would be nice to have traveled to the actual oil output post to see if I'm actually still overproducing oil. And, well, then I started working on some more wood removal so I can get even more space. And now plastic starts running, and I removed I added a cap on the second chest, which is not automatically unloaded, and the unloading speed is pretty poor. But whatever. I check a bit if there's anything interesting to research, but at the moment the most important thing is advanced oil processing, because once I get that, I can finally start doing stuff, actually refining light oil into that other stuff and improve the rate at which plastic is getting created and stuff like that. Okay, let's see. Next up, I guess, is taking some copper and start working on the research sets. And now we're getting attacked. And we're getting attacked badly. And so badly that I die. Well, I load and run into a train. Well, I guess that's something that can happen to you once in your life. Okay, then I grabbed some turrets and decided to run back. But once again, everything is completely destroyed until I arrive. And once again, that stuff got removed. I placed those things. And in the end I die again. Well, I run into a train again. And this time I decide, well, let's just take apart these turrets and run over there to have some stuff left. And that's actually basically enough to keep the enemies away. I need to rebuild 4 of these things, and I fill them with wood since I had some handy at the moment. Then I decided, well, I should probably use some forward defense instead of defense right where I need it. So, well, and since that requires turrets, I have to search for them, which, yeah, I ran right next to them. And I run back again. So let's fix that stuff. And I maybe went a bit overboard with the amount of those. I don't care about repairs because that's something the robots will do, since I don't have to redo that stuff. I don't know if I missed actually anything in the time I did the enemy fighting. Well, in the end, I think we lost a lot less than we would have if I wouldn't have died 2 or 3 times in a row. Okay, let's take the steel once again. And the batteries to see if I can't get the 75 blue potions, which will take a while, which is why I'm probably, it's the reason why I'm placing them, which is the thing I'm going to cut out between episodes, the end of it at least. Since, well, we're getting pretty close to the end of the episodes, only 3.5 minutes left, something like that, 19 minutes and 38 seconds, you can see it. I tried to steal one of the repair kits, but I wasn't able to, and then I wasn't sure if they actually repaired themselves. By the way, we'll later see that they actually do, I think very soon, too. And yeah, I'm checking if the balance is correct. Yeah, okay, that was a bit quick. You could see them get one drone repair the other one if you were very, very careful. But yeah, this train is getting stuck again, and I tried to move it downward, the wrong one downwards, and that didn't work, and this didn't, this tried to go, and yeah, this was a mess of trains, but whatever. It's fixed, and that's the important thing. And once again, I decided to get a little bit more space. What I'm going to do with it? Probably going to go with tracks. That's something I'm currently deciding. Like this, if I want to build a circle around there. I decided, maybe I want to, maybe I don't want to, and I was unsure, and in the end I didn't do it yet, since it's going to take a while to make that stuff run, and it's time consuming, and well, we were already almost 1 hour in, so I decided, well, that's something for the next episode. So I decided to check at the mines and see if there are any mining drills that ran out. With the copper mines, quite a few ran out. With the iron mine, a lot of stuff is still running on very few resources. Took me a while to check them, since these colors aren't that nice. And I noticed that there's some damage down there, so I thought, maybe I want another repair thingy down there. But in the end I decided, well, it's not that big of an issue. I don't think that's important enough. I added some more lights because, well, I like my tracks to be light at night if I travel with a train and everything is lit. It's really, really nice. And then I run back down and checked a few things, basically just wasting time. And we're really close to the end of the episode, so see ya next time. And hope you enjoyed the episode. And see ya. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, I prepared some plastic speed increase there, but since I am already crafting stuff in my inventory, that doesn't work. Okay, see ya. Now really. Bye-bye.